Chapter 17 of the Corpus Hermeticum, often titled The Secret Discourse of Tat, features a conversation between Hermes Trismegistus and his disciple Tat. In this dialogue, the focus is on the revelation of esoteric knowledge and understanding the true nature of the soul and the universe. Hermes discusses spiritual regeneration and the need for purification of the soul to achieve gnosis, or direct and intuitive knowledge of the divine. Hermes explains to Tat that the path to this wisdom is neither easy nor open to all. It requires an inner search, a renunciation of worldly pleasures, and a commitment to spiritual growth. This process of spiritual rebirth is described as a symbolic death, where the initiate must die to the world and be reborn into a state of spiritual consciousness. During the dialogue, concepts such as the immortality of the soul and the view of the world as an illusion are also discussed, recurring themes in Hermetic philosophy. Hermes emphasizes the importance of seeing beyond appearances and seeking unity with the all, which is both immanent and transcendent. The chapter is rich in symbolism and allegory, typical of the Hermetic style, and serves both as a guide for spiritual development and a philosophical treatise on the nature of reality. At the end of the chapter, Tat is instructed to keep the teachings secret, revealing them only to those who are worthy and capable of understanding and practicing these profound truths. The dialogue is a deep exchange on the nature of existence and the human capacity to know the divine. Dialogue between Hermes and his spiritual son Tat. Hermes, the path of knowledge of the divine is not accessible by ordinary means of learning. That which is divine, Tat, is beyond comprehension and expression, it is truly ineffable. Tat, but then, Father, how can we understand or achieve knowledge of the unspeakable? Hermes, he who rises above the domain of mind, word, and form perceives by the power of silence. The enlightened soul does not learn this mystery through words, but by the experience of union with the divine. Tat, and how can we achieve this union, my father? Hermes, through purification. Until you free your soul from the shackles of the body and purify it from the stains of matter, you will not know the union with the divine. Tat, purification, then, is the beginning of true wisdom? Hermes, exactly. Purity is the precursor of light. Only when cleansed of all earthly contamination and celestial will the light of the only true reveal itself in its fullness. Hermes, listen, my son, and understand what it truly means to attain knowledge of the divine. True knowledge is not acquired like the knowledge that men transmit to one another. Tat, then, how is it acquired, Father? Hermes, knowledge of the divine comes only through the ability to detach from all that is worldly and temporary. When your soul completely disengages from earthly ties, it begins to feel an attraction to the true essence of things. Tat, but how can the soul detach when it is bound to the body? Hermes, my son, whoever seeks knowledge must first learn to distinguish between what is temporal and what is eternal. Discipline, meditation, and silence are tools that help free the soul from the illusions of the material. Tat, so, we should seek silence? Hermes, yes, Tat. In silence, the soul finds the way to communicate with the divine. In silence, it rises above the noise of the flesh and touches the harmony of what is eternal. There, in unshakable tranquility, the soul drinks from the fountain of pure knowledge. Here are the main topics discussed in Chapter 17. The ineffability of the divine. Hermes emphasizes that the true essence of the divine is ineffable and transcends human understanding. He discusses how the nature of the divine is beyond words and human intellectual capacity. Knowledge by mystical union. The dialogue explores the idea that true knowledge of God is not something that can be learned by conventional methods, but through a mystical union with the divine. This union is achieved through an internal transformation and purification of the soul. The need for purification. Hermes instructs Tat on the importance of purifying the soul from earthly influences and ties. Purification is presented as an essential prerequisite for achieving spiritual wisdom and enlightenment. The role of silence. Silence is valued as a fundamental spiritual practice that facilitates introspection and communication with the divine. In silence, the soul can transcend the mundane and rise to a deeper understanding of spiritual reality. The transcendence of the soul. Hermes describes the process by which the soul can rise above the limitations of the body and the material world, accessing states of consciousness that allow a direct perception of divine truth. The contrast between mundane knowledge and divine knowledge. The text makes a clear distinction between mundane knowledge, which is temporary and limited, and divine knowledge, which is eternal and unlimited. The pursuit of the latter is portrayed as the true goal of spiritual life. End of chapter 17. If you are enjoying the video, please subscribe to the channel and leave your like to help spread this knowledge. Let's move on to chapter 18. Chapter 18 is profound and contemplative, challenging readers to reflect on their own nature and capabilities, as well as their relationship with the divine and the universe. It highlights the special position of humans as bridges between the material and the spiritual, capable of manifesting the divine in their lives through their actions and aspirations. Hermes Trismegistus and his son Tat discuss divine power and the human potential to reflect that power. Here is an illustrative excerpt of their dialogue. Hermes, O Tat, my son, know that the power of God is immense and incomparable. He is the creator and sustainer of everything. In his wisdom he arranges all things. Nothing happens in this world without his will. Tat, father, how can we, mere men, comprehend the greatness of this power? Hermes, O God made man in his own image, giving him a spark of his own divine power. Thus, within each of us resides the ability to understand the divine and to act in harmony with his creation. Tat, but father, how can we activate this divine spark within us? Hermes, O my son, through the purification of our soul and our thoughts. We must aspire to virtue and true knowledge so that we may rise above the distractions and impurities of the material world. Tat, and once purified, how do we use this divine power within us? Hermes, upon achieving purity, we gain the clarity to see and understand the laws of the cosmos, and with this understanding, we can live in a way that reflects the order and harmony of the divine in our own lives. The power we then exercise must be used to promote good and truth in service to the divine will. Hermes, understand, Tat, that everything that exists is under the influence of the One, and nothing happens without his permission. But man, endowed with freedom and reason, can align with this divine will or deviate from it. Tat, how then can we align with the will of God? Hermes, by cultivating virtue and embracing true knowledge, we align ourselves with the cosmic order. This is the true nature of human power, not to dominate by force, but to govern through wisdom and harmony. Tat, father, is there any danger in deviating from this divine will? Hermes, yes, my son. Those who stray from the divine order and abuse their power sow discord and chaos, not just in their own lives, but in the world around them. Therefore, it is crucial that the power granted to us is used responsibly and with reverence. Tat, and how can we ensure that we are acting according to this divine order? Hermes, we must always seek the guidance of the inner light, the spark of the divine that resides in each of us. Meditating, studying the sacred laws, and observing nature are ways to strengthen our connection with the divine and ensure that our actions reflect his will. Tat, does this mean that our power is ultimately an expression of the divine will? Hermes, exactly, Tat. When we use our power aligned with the divine will, we act as true children of God, and our impact on the world promotes order, justice, and beauty. This is the greatest use we can make of the power granted to us. This dialogue between Hermes and Tat reveals deep reflection on human power and its intrinsic relationship with divine power. The conversation is a blend of ethical exhortation and spiritual instruction, guiding Tat to an understanding of how to live responsibly and spiritually aware. Let's describe the main themes of this chapter. Nature of God and the cosmos. Hermes discusses the omnipotence of God and how all creation is under his domain and command. He explains that God is the source of all power and existence, and that his power manifests throughout the universe, animating and sustaining all things. Man as the image of God. The chapter explores the idea that man is an image of God, created with the ability to understand and reflect the divine order. This section emphasizes the unique position of man in the cosmos, endowed with reason and capable of achieving spiritual knowledge. The ascent of the soul. Hermes discusses the soul's journey towards perfection and union with the divine. The ascent of the soul is presented as a process of purification and enlightenment, where the soul overcomes earthly limitations and rises to achieve a state of communion with God. The power of man. The discussion also revolves around the power that humans have to align with the divine will and to exercise their own power of creation and dominion over nature. Hermes encourages Tat to understand and use this power wisely and responsibly, in harmony with divine laws. Moral and ethical responsibility. The chapter emphasizes the importance of moral and ethical responsibility in using human power. Hermes warns Tat about the dangers of power abuse and the need to align human action with divine principles of justice and order. Practical and spiritual teachings. Finally, Hermes offers practical advice on how Tat and other seekers can apply these teachings in their lives to achieve wisdom, harmony, and spiritual power. End of chapter 18. If you are enjoying the video, please subscribe to the channel and give it a like to help promote these teachings.